decided I'd start back from an older save. Which might mean...
What are you looking at? I'm not afraid of you, no.
Might mean that this could go a lot smoother too.
Come to chat with an old woman, hmm? Kill your good deeds with a
So, let's get back to where we left off. You know. This shouldn't take more than a few minutes. Now.
Need something?
But I still hear the call of the blood.
We all do. It is our burden to bear. But we can overcome.
You have my brother and I, obviously. But I don't know if the rest will go along quite so easily.
Leave that to me. A stranger comes to our hall.
I want to join the companions, yes.
Would you now? Here, let me have a look at you. Yes, perhaps. A certain strength of spirit.
Master, you're not truly considering accepting him.
I am nobody's master, Vilkas. And last I checked, we had some empty beds in Jorvaskr for those with a fire burning in their hearts.
Apologies. But perhaps this isn't the time. I've never even heard of this outsider.
Sometimes the famous come to us. Sometimes men and women come to us to seek their fame. It makes no difference. What matters is their heart.
And their arm.
Of course. How are you in battle, boy?
Can handle myself, yeah.
That may be so. This is Vilkas. He will test your arm. Vilkas, take him out to the yard and see what he can do.
Aye.
Oh yeah, I forgot I had her following me.
I'm right behind you. I'll head back home if you need me.
Yeah. So yeah, I had to restart the console, and then I decided I'll just start this over, but from an older save file, and yeah. Yeah, thanks, Roz. Thanks for willing to suffer for a little delay.
The old man
I have no idea what happened back there.
So, let's do this. Just have a few swings at me so I can see your form. Don't worry, I can take it.
Let's try getting back.
Not bad.
Let's try getting back to where we originally left off with the.
You might just make it.
Off with what we were talking about.
You're still a whelp to us, new blood. So you do what we tell you. Here's my sword. Go take it up to Yorland to have it sharpened. And be careful. It's probably worth more than you are.
Where I remember leaving off was that I said that Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines could give us an idea of what the upcoming Werewolf game could look like, which... And that's a rough idea. That's not a one-to-one comparison, because Werewolf and Vampire play differently, even though they both use the same system.
What brings you here?
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're the newcomer then. Oh, don't worry too much about it.
Now, the thing with Bloodlines is that they only stuck with the Camarilla clans, which was by design, because including all the clans was just... It just would not be doable.
Well,
there's too many variables to work with, because then you'd basically have to have a Camarilla storyline,
he's a sort of advisor for the whole group.
A
Every
Sabat
man's
storyline,
story,
an Anarch's
the woman, her
Arc storyline, and Troika was not like a AAA studio.
I have a favor to ask.
So they stuck with the Camarilla just to make it. So they went with the
I've been
Camarilla
working
just
with a
for
shield
simplicity
for
and to give it
My
more
wife
focus,
is in
which
mourning, and I need to get
that
back
worked
to her
out.
soon.
Just it had
I'd be
issues.
much
It just
obliged
had
if you could
technical
take this
issues,
to
which
Ayala for me.
luckily have been fixed to a point. But yeah.
That's a good man.
It's not just a graphics things, Raz. It's also kind of a sorry, I got something in my throat. Yeah. It's not just an issue of graphics, it's also an issue of gameplay mechanics. I don't know if you've ever seen any of the streams by Harebrained Schemes. They're the guys who made the Shadowrun games, and they're working on an upcoming BattleTech game. And in one of their streams for BattleTech, they talked about like how focus equals quality of gameplay. You can throw in all these features, but if you don't have a focus, you're not gonna come with a very good game. And especially if you contrast that against everything we're hearing from Chris Roberts and about Star System, and how you're gonna be able to do all these cool things.
If you wish to hunt with me, your feet need to be quick and your eyes quicker. Ysgramor himself wouldn't have the patience to deal with all the rabble around here.
Yeah, it did get a little ridiculous in the last few. It did get a little bit. Bloodlines did get a bit ridiculous in like the last mission.
Ah, good. I've been waiting for this. Are you new here?
I told you. This is the whelp that Vilkas mentioned.
Ah,
And it might be
yes.
actually kind of cool
I
to
heard
do.
you gave
I
him
don't know, a
quite the
turn-based
thrashing.
werewolf.
Don't let Vilkas catch you saying that.
Do you think
I don't know.
you
I
could
mean,
handle
like
Vilkas in a real fight?
that could work. That could work. I could see that working.
Ah, here. Let's have Farkas show you where you'll be resting your head.
Although Cyanide also had their own crack in an RPG called of Orcs and Men. It's well, when I say RPG, it's more of an action
Of course we
RPG.
did, Icebrain. Show this new blood where the rest of the whelp sleep.
New blood? Oh, hello. I'm Farkas. Come, follow me.
But I don't know. A turn-based that could actually be kind of cool.
Skjor and Ayala like to tease me, but they're good people.
So the only problem,
They challenge
the only
us to
problem with
be our
where
best.
I see Werewolf having down the line is
Nice to have a new face around.
there
It's
might be
boring
a
here sometimes.
they might be tempted to do too
It's gonna
much.
be a rough life.
Now Cyanide is
The
pretty good
quarters
at
are up
with
here.
quality.
Just pick a bed
Just
and fall
watch
in
my
when
Sticks
you're tired.
playthrough and you'll see the
Selma
kind
will
of
keep
games
the
they
place
put out.
clean. She always has. Alright, so here you are. Looks like the others are eager to meet you. Come to me or Ayala if you're looking for work. Once you've made a bit of a name for yourself, Skjor and Vilkas might have things for you to do. Good luck. Welcome to the Companions.
By the way, if you're looking for something to do, we've got trouble right here in Whiterun Hold. Nothing we can't handle. Nothing but a bunch of lonely bandits. Cowards. Excellent. Show them no mercy.
Yeah. They could be tempted to do too much, like if they include all the tribes. Because the thing is, like, all the different tribes, they all have their own agendas. They don't all get along with each other. So that could present a that right there could present
You're home. Let's play a game.
no.
Take care.
They can barely tolerate our presence on Earth.
Yeah, it would be cool to be able to play any of the tribes, but
Spare a coin for a fellow lord.
We've been seeing the company of the companions.
yeah, I have to wonder. I mean, like, because Cyanide isn't a AAA studio, and Focus Home Interactive isn't a AAA publisher, so they're going to... I foresee them making concessions with the resources they've got available to them. The game will be good. And if I know Cyanide Studios, it'll be good and will leave room open for improvement. Because if it does good, we could maybe even get a sequel out of it, which would be good. That'd be awesome. It'd probably be like the first World of Darkness. No, wait, that's not true. Ah, I forgot that. There was that Hunter the Reckoning trilogy. So yeah, it would not be the first World of Darkness game to get a sequel, but yeah. Actually, can anyone still track down copies of those Hunter games? Because those are games I probably would have liked playing back in the day. Although I think with Hunter they sort of decided to strip away all the RPG elements and make it more of a Twitch shooter. No, not a Twitch shooter. Just kind of a kind of sort of action game with survival horror elements, I think. This is only going by the footage I've seen of the Hunter games, so maybe some of you have played them and have a better idea. Still, though, they did look pretty fun. Yeah. Oh, great, a dragon. I'm not here for you, though. Except he's going where I'm going. That's just great. It's like I gotta fight a dragon. And bandits. No, I didn't play. Well, the thing, while doing a Pentex campaign, Brock, you can only really do that with like the Black Spiral Dancers. I don't, or unless you're talking about doing a campaign that heavily focuses on Pentex. I don't know, playing. I mean, it probably would be cool to do that, but I don't know, it's not something I ever really gave so much thought to. Let's see if you get a key. Ah, here we are. No, there probably is one way I could see them doing the Werewolf game. There was this other Vampire the Masquerade game, came out before Bloodlines, was Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. But that one was a bit more, that one was more turn-based. You didn't have as much customization. But you did basically have a coterie to play with, and all of them came from different clans. Now, that's a possibility. Hey, Connor. That right there could be a possibility. Like, you have a player character that comes from one different tribe, and he basically builds up a pack with with werewolves from other different tribes. That's one way they could do it. And that would actually work better for Werewolf. Because a big part of playing a Werewolf campaign is you have to have the pack mentality. So being able to build up a party would actually, or a pack in this case, that would actually be more to the game's benefit. As opposed to, say, Bloodlines, where you were basically playing solo. So yeah, I mean, like one feature that needs to be present in the upcoming Werewolf game is there needs to be like some sort of companion mechanic, and ideally you should be able to build up a pack. Oh yeah, that'd be, maybe, but I would probably. When I think tank, I think get a Fenris, but that'd be seeing a Bonar that doubles as a tank. That'd be cool too. I think though what would do them a big disservice is that they try to give the protagonist a voice. I think it's probably better if the protagonist is just silent. Because we've seen how they did that with Mass Effect, and we've seen how they did that with Fallout 4, and kind of doesn't really work. So yeah, they need protagonist, the player character needs to be silent. I mean, let the other characters gab on and on. That I'm okay with. But yeah, player character needs to be silent. Oh, Brock, I just had the best idea. That Bonar Hobo King, he should have the same voice actor as Styx. Especially if he's the guy who's cracking jokes, because whoever the guy they have doing the voice for Styx, that guy is good with comedy. To be skilled or not to be skilled? That is the question. And fuck you is the answer.
It's a fine day with you around.
Skjor says that I have the strength of Ysgramor, and my brother has his smarts. Some people don't think I'm smart. Those people get my...
Okay, I know I brought this up in the other stream, but does anyone else think that the companions could basically...
You have done well for yourself, and for the...
They basically could work as a get a Fenris sept? I mean, they act like Fenrir.
Skjor was looking for you earlier. Don't know. He just said he needed to talk to you before you do anything else.
I can't be the only one who sees that.
There you are. I did. Your time, it seems, has come. Last week, a scholar came to us. He said he knew where we could find another fragment of Wuthrad. He seemed a fool to me, but if he's right, the honor of the companions demands
he is.
we seek it out. There's a fine
I told you,
line between
Pyro.
Respect and bootlicking,
He is fun.
blood, but I like your spirit.
Yeah, I want to see that guy playing a Bonar NPC, or at least playing a Bonar companion. That guy, I want that guy in the game.
Your shield sibling on this venture, Whelp. He'll answer any questions you have. Try not to disappoint, or to get him killed.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, he should have a distinct personality from Styx, but you know, but something that was really good about Bloodlines was that that the writing allowed for levity. Like, there were all these little jokes that it would crack in, especially if you played as a Malkavian. That shit could be funny as hell. But yeah, having a character who does a little comic relief, yeah, that can actually, that's need a little levity in that game. I get that it's called World of Darkness, but doesn't mean you can't crack a few jokes here and there. Better check. I gotta set the Farkas. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, like, crack the occasional joke here and there just to give the game some levity, but yeah, show that the characters are taking it serious.
You look tired, friend. The Bannered Mare has beds for rent.
Another game I think I could see them taking some good inspiration from is, if any of you play like any of the old school BioWare games, I'm talking like Baldur's Gate, like up to say KOTOR, because those had some really good party mechanics, and especially with how the NPCs interacted with each other. Baldur's Gate I haven't played too much of, but I do remember playing. There was a time when I played KOTOR religiously. That game was the shit. But what was also really cool about it was how, like, all your companions interacted with each other.
So I'm told. Let's see if you impress. Until next time.
And what also really helped it work was that they also came with their own abilities, which basically meant you had any number of ways you could play the game.
Fresh from the wilds. What? What are you looking at? You like mercenary work?
Oh, I've heard of Princess the Hopeful. That's like a...
Now I remember.
Yes, also like that. Also like that, Pyro. But yeah, Princess the Hopeful, from what that was like a fan-made game that was just basic, that was kind of a joke, wasn't it? That's exactly what it was. So yeah, I mean, another thing you gotta have, like, your pack mates have to have, your pack or sept mates. Yeah, that's actually the best way I can describe it. Your entire party is basically your sept, but your immediate party is basically your pack, and everyone in them. Yeah. Huh, fan-made game is actually good. But yeah, what needs to happen is if you have companion characters, they gotta give them good personalities. And it probably also helps that they all come with their own agendas. Like, if it's like a multi-tribe pack, like, then you can have, like, then your companions are giving you quests that benefit their tribe. Might cost you, like, rep points or some... No, not repetition. Renown. Might cost you, like, renown with, like, one of your other sept mates. Like, and like, holy shit. We've actually got a lot of creativity in this stream. Like, a lot of good ideas are flowing, guys. Keep them coming. I mean, as much as I like to gab on and on and on, I mean, I want to hear... You guys have got to have ideas, right? sure that I don't have... Yeah. Yep, almost there. I mean, like another thing I could probably see which would be kind of cool to bring in. Not sure if Cyanide would do this, but one thing from KOTOR was like how they yeah, it would. But yeah, one thing that was also good in KOTOR was the light side, dark side mechanic. Like how you could earn light side or dark side points depending on how you acted. I mean, that we could also bring in like a sort of a worm taint system there.
Someone's been digging here, and recently. Tread lightly.
I mean, that's an idea. Not sure they would do that. That would be cool, like the option to go to just fall to the worm, although
Be careful around the burial stones. I don't want to haul you
General,
down your
oh man, the General Lee for transportation, that'd be funny.
Do your worst.
Man. We are a whole bunch of edgelords. Oh, another Draugr.
Good enough.
Don't know if any of you know this, but if you know anything about Draugr, or Draugr, I don't know how it's pronounced. They're basically the Norse version of vampires.
We should keep moving. Until next time.
Let's see what happens when I pull this. And by the way, yes, I knew that was going to happen. I've done this questline
Now
before.
look what you've gotten yourself into. No worries. Just sit tight. I'll find the release. What was that?
It's time to
And here comes the best part.
We knew you'd be coming. Your mistake, companion.
Which one is that?
Doesn't matter. He wears that armor, he dies.
Killing you will make for an excellent story.
None of you will be alive to tell it. I hope I didn't scare you. It's a blessing given to some of us. We can be like wild beasts, fearsome.
I think it was just, I don't think they were specific. I think it was just,
Oh no.
for what I
Only the
remember, it was
Circle have the beast blood.
in the Hunter
Prove
the
your
Reckoning
honor to
game,
be
they
a
just
companion.
had it was just a werewolf who was a serial killer.
We should keep moving. Still the Draugr to worry about.
And his execution somehow opened a gateway to the land of the dead or something. Yeah, no, I did not get the... I didn't I haven't seen anything from the third game, so I've got no comment on it. Ooh, gold. Yeah. Yeah, look, I never got to play any of the Hunter games, and what I do know was based on cutscenes I managed to find on YouTube. I think we were supposed to get out the way we came. That makes more sense. If anyone does know what tribe that werewolf and redeemer was from, yeah, feel free to pipe in. Because I'm drawing a blank, I'll be honest. I think I do remember when I was a kid, though, there was like a time when I had like a bunch of demo discs. And on one of them, there was like behind the scenes material for Redeemer. So I do remember it existing. It was actually one of the first games I knew about that did New Game Plus. Obviously not the first game to do New Game Plus, but it was just the first one that ever introduced me to the idea of New Game Plus. Well, it's not gonna be that way for much longer, Raz. Oh wait, I forgot. There's still the shard. I'm a tard. Where did I leave off? Yes, now I remember. I left off talking about like how they could have this worm taint meter in the game. Thank you, Raz. Thank you. They were Tina. But yes, I left off talking about how... Yeah. Okay, they were either Ukatina or Wendigo. Although I'm gonna defer to Raz on this. Yeah. But yeah, where I left off was the idea of maybe doing a sort of worm taint meter, something similar to like KOTOR's light side, dark side meter.
That's the best all you've got?
Yeah. I don't know if they would do that. It would be kind of cool to do that. Have the option to basically have the option to that's a good idea, Pyro, but yeah. But yeah, it'd be kind of cool to have the option to basically fall to the worm and become a Black Spiral Dancer, although that sort of creates it's like a whole set of questions, like what happens to your sept and your companions? Like, did they turn against you? Do they die? Do you get a new sept and new pack mates? It'd be a cool idea, but would it be a practical one to implement? Personally, I'm thinking probably it would not be. Be cool, but I don't know. I wouldn't count on it. I don't know.
wrong.
My smear you won't leave here alive.
This should be good.
Now, multiplayer. That's an interesting question. Multiplayer is an idea that sounds cool, but I haven't seen it done well with RPGs because I remember when Mass Effect 3 tried doing that, and I don't remember anyone really speaking too highly of Mass Effect's multiplayer. And if you're gonna do that, you might as well just make it an MMO. It's kind of... Yeah, like I said, it's a cool idea. Oh, fail, not fall. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that would actually be good. I mean, like, give... It's my stream, I'll talk however I want, bitch.
Someone there? Not impressed.
So what was I talking about? But yeah, having missions where you could actually fail and them impact the story, holy shit, yeah, that would be cool. Because then you gotta pick up the pieces, you gotta deal with the impact. Act like, I mean, if there should probably go without saying that there should be multiple endings in this game. No, he just came here to troll. Because he's a faggot. And I need a potion. Where? And guys, honestly, this isn't the funniest shit poster I've had in one of my streams. Check out that Skyrim stream I did New Year's Eve. That was funny. Oh wait, not here to pick locks or anything. That I would like, and I would actually pay money for that. A White Howler skin pack. That's funny, Raz. They did look cool. I mean, they were based off the pics. I mean, seriously, if you guys do not know anything about the pics, these were like the one savage. These were like one of the pagan tribes that the Romans could not beat these guys. These guys kept the Vikings out of Scotland. They were afraid to fight them. I want you guys to keep that in mind. Vikings, These were guys who prayed for a glorious death in battle, and they were too scared to fight the Picts. It's something I wish Vikings would explore like I need. Although I already did that in a podcast with Diente. I forgot this was in here. There we go. We got the fragment, and now we can head back to the hall. Wait a minute. Oh. Fucking Draugr. You know, I can see that working, Brock. I don't know if you guys got like the... What was it? I don't know if it's like the Ultimate Edition or whatever. It's like the... It's an edition of Dragon Age Origins that collects all the DLC. And one of them is sort of like this side campaign where you play as one of the Darkspawn. Oh, shit. And you basically replay the campaign, but you're doing it in reverse. Playing as a Darkspawn. So having a DLC where you could basically play the whole campaign as one of those Pentex first teams? Sure, that'd be cool. And I gotta level up. Yes, nice having you out on, Roz. Well, yeah, I mean, like, that's a good idea. But yeah, I mean, like, that's a... But yeah, as far as a Black Fury character, like, putting... Like, if a Black Fury's in a position where she's going to come across people that need help... Ooh, that was wrong. That helps lend to her... Oh, yeah, thanks. Thanks, Raz. Yeah. Yeah, I turned down the volume on this, so yeah. And I moved the mic closer to my mouth, so yeah. But yeah, putting a Black Fury in a position where she's likely going to come across people in need of help. That's just something that kind of makes sense. I mean, like, another idea which I did not bring up in my Black Fury vid, which I wish I did because this actually kind of seems obvious, is like maybe a Black Fury that doubles as like a police officer. Because it also ties in with the Black Furies being valuing justice and shit like that. And who are police officers if not the keepers of justice and law? Killed all the Draugr. Now going back to the hall. And now we can get into the... Now we can really get this stream rolling. Because in a mechanic, as far as mechanicals go, that's a good bit. Yeah, as far as mechanics go, the way werewolf abilities work in this game, that's really what I wanted to show off. I'm pretty sure. So while we're still talking, let's keep pitching ideas. I think we've sort of delved mechanics pretty thoroughly. So
Imperials, Stormcloaks, I don't care.
anyone got any ideas on where plotline could go? Oh yeah, skin dancers, do not need those. Yeah, definitely no, do not want those. Although, could have a quest line where you kill some skin dancers. That would be cool.
Brothers and sisters of the Circle, today we welcome a new soul to our mortal fold. This man has endured, has challenged, and has shown his valor. Who will speak for him?
I stand witness to the courage of the soul before us.
Would you raise your shield in his defense?
From what I understand, Pyro, the only ones that are really supporting and encouraging him are the Talons.
It stands ready to meet the blood of his foes.
And would you raise a mug in his name?
I would lead the song of triumph.
Something in the Midwest or the Northeast. Okay, there's a setting.
Then the judgment of this circle is complete.
If it's in the Northeast, they might set in New York. I don't know.
United the companions as the days of the distant
Upstate. Actually, yeah, New York would. Actually, New York might make a good setting, because I know you probably tend to think you'd spend most of your time in the city, but upstate New York actually has a lot of rural land.
I trust you won't disappoint.
Skjor says that I have the strength of Ysgramor, and some people don't think I'm smart. Those people, there's some trouble in Falkreath. There's always some kind of trouble down there. But now it's come to a head. The Falmer. There have been reports that they've been attacking people at night. Good. Do not spare them your blade.
Those are also good ideas. Now maybe I'm just going to be biased, but I'd go with the Pacific Northwest. I mean, you got Seattle, which is like one of the tech meccas in the country, and there is still plenty of forest area in Washington. What do you guys think? Because that is a good case to make for using Louisiana as a setting. And I mean, as far as settings go, I think there should be like a good balance of an urban and rural area. Fuck Canada. Although they might set it in Vancouver because Cyanide Studios is based in Paris, and they have some. I mean, I assume they got some kind of affinity for those French Canadians. I don't know. My gut says they're probably gonna use the U.S. Although maybe they might get really daring and use Europe. There's still a lot of forest land in Europe. It's cool, Pyro. One of my oldest friends is Canadian. I'm sorry, Pyro, but I have to make fun of Canada because of Trudeau. He's just, oh, Canada! That guy is such a fucking ponce. Yeah, my gut says they'll probably use the United States as a setting. Ideally, a region of the... No, he said if you kill your enemies, they win. It's cool, it's cool. It's all in good fun. It's all in good fun, Pyro. Just bouncing. You really are living up to that whole Canadian politeness. But yeah, as far as settings go, probably America. That's probably what they're gonna go with, but I think a European setting would also be kind of neat. Brock, where's Zion National Park? Because I feel like I know where it is, but the name is just escaping me. Utah, huh? Could you really do that in Utah? Because, like, ain't Utah, like, this is coming from... Utah's, is, like, a lot of desert, isn't it? Yeah, it's Sept of the Green's, like, one of the biggest septs in the country. So... if I gotta narrow it down, they're either gonna go with New York or maybe the Pacific Northwest. I had the right spot. Let's check the map. Yep, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. They might go with New York just because I think there's more of the source books talked about New York a lot. I'd have to double check them, but New York does have a. Yeah, because like I said, that's why I think they might go with New York, because you got the metropolitan area of New York City, and then you got all the forest land up in upstate New York. So that actually gives you plenty of options to work with. Ah. So yeah, New York is probably the best option, just because the Sept of the Green is one of the largest septs in the country. Still, though, there's plenty of options to work with in Europe. Oh yeah, especially if you go to Chinatown. You might find stargazers in New York's Chinatown. I'm an idiot. I can't believe I did not bring this up, because this is something that's going to have to be a big deal, mechanically speaking, in the game. Crafting fetishes. That has to be there. There has to be a robust crafting system to make your fetishes. And that's most likely what you're going to get. You're most likely going to be a Hamid, because that's just going to be the easiest to play with. But yeah. So yeah, anyone got any ideas of how the crafting system for fetishes could work? Because I remember, like, there was a game. I don't know if you guys have ever played this. It was an RPG made by a studio called Spiders. It was called Bound by Flame. And it had this really good crafting system for making weapons. It's a really deep crafting system, which would allow you to customize not just the attributes and bits of your weapon. You could also... Yeah, okay, so yeah, Bit knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, it would also... You wouldn't just customize the attributes of your weapons, you could also customize the look. Boy, am I shit out of luck. No health potions. That's something that needs to be in the game. You have to have a good crafting system for your fetishes. Are we talking about spiders or cyanide, Bet? Also, I think we gotta discuss the leveling up system. Now, as far as video games go, like the spiders, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Bite. Got it. Thanks for clearing that up. So yeah. Gotta have a robust crafting system when it comes to making fetishes. And as far as leveling up goes, you know, right now about the only thing I got as a point of reference is the leveling up system they used in Bloodlines, which you'd basically get. You wouldn't, because you don't get level up in World of Darkness like you do in, say, D&D. It's not based on gaining experience. Because in Bloodlines, if any of you guys played that, like after the end of every mission, you would get like a couple, you get like a 3 points or something. Then I haven't played that game in a while, so my memory's a bit rusty. You get like a 3 points or something to spend on your attributes at the end of every mission. Now that's something I probably would see Werewolf carrying over, but what also is so it can be incorporated is striking deals with spirits to learn new gifts or level up your gifts. Like, that's a good idea. Say you're playing a Get a Fenris,
I'm still trying to figure out
and
why Skjor let you in
a Get a Fenris Alrune, and you come across a spirit of war or battle, and he teaches you gifts that is for combat. Well, that spirit can also give you quests to level up your gifts.
You have done well for yourself and for the companions. Skjor was looking for you before. Talk to him.
What do you think? Sound like a good idea? Like you can strike deals with spirits to learn a gift, and those spirits will give you quest lines to improve them.
Yes, I have something a little different planned this time, but it's not for everyone to hear. Meet me in the Underforge tonight.
Oh yes, we got it.
All right then.
I've heard you may actually be stronger than you look.
Yeah, that's actually good because it gives us variety in missions, and plus, I mean, like, I think another thing that's got to be in there mechanically is there has to be this sort of like this kind of meter that tracks how much of the Weaver and Worm's influence you're beating back and increasing the influence of the wild. Like there needs to.
I guess that's okay. Just means I can show you the ropes.
And it's all based on how you perform in quest lines. Yeah, Bite. I just gave that idea. I just gave that idea for learning gifts. You go to spirits to. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. You go to spirits. You go to spirits to learn new gifts and level them up, and also to learn crafting for fetishes. But yeah, another thing we also got to have in there. There's got to be like meters that are measuring influence of the different aspects of the trad. Like there's got to be like a wild meter, a Weaver meter, a Worm meter. Like that's something that the game needs to be measuring.
Prepared? This is no test, New Blood. This is a gift. Come inside.
You still need to prove yourself, Whelp. Until next time.
And here we go, guys. The first change.
do this in secret because Kodlak is too busy trying to throw away this great gift we've been granted. He thinks we've been cursed, but we've been blessed. How can something that gives this kind of prowess be a curse? So we take matters into our own hands. To reach the heights of the Companions, you must join with us in the shared blood of the wolf. Are you prepared to join your spirit with the beast world, friend? Very well.
Here we go. Yeah, well, the thing is, a lack of customization in Bloodlines was, I think in Bloodlines' case, it was because Troika just didn't have the resources to introduce a whole lot of. Yeah, the thing with Troika is, like, they were never a AAA studio, so they just did not have the resources to give you, like, more customization than... Now, I mean, like, it's cool to customize your character's look, but when it comes to RPGs, I think it's more important that you customize as the character's attributes than their look.
Are you awake? I was starting to think you might never come back. Yours was not an easy.
I mean, if you want to see what I'm talking about, just compare character customization in Daggerfall to Skyrim and tell me which one is deeper.
There's a pack of werewolf hunters camped nearby at Gallows Rock. The Silver Hand. I think you've met them before. We're going to slaughter them, all of them.
But yeah, I mean, like, I would agree that there needs to be, like, some customization with your character's look. I mean.
All right then.
See, Bite knows what I'm talking about. Daggerfall's got deeper character customization. Surprised you haven't. Did you know it's freeware, Bite? You know what? I've been holding this back for too long. Let's use it. Let's do it. Let's do this! After all, this is what you guys came to see. And this is what I wanted to show you. Not what I would go with, but... because this is basically Fallout's perk system transplanted to Skyrim, but... but it's all those different abilities you have to use. A buddy of mine actually said, like, playing a werewolf in Skyrim is about as close as playing an apocalypse video game as we ever would get. Up until we found out that Cyanide was making one. But yeah, different abilities you get this Animal Vigor, which gives you a health and stamina bonus. Gorgon. Well, that wouldn't be too bad. Gorgon gives you twice as much health. Savage Feeding. Yeah, okay. Totem of Terror. Howl that affects high-level creatures. Totem of Ice Brothers calls ice wolves, calls more werewolves, has an extended range. So yeah. About the only downside to the downside to being a werewolf in Skyrim is that you can only be a werewolf for so long, unless you get the Ring of Hersine, in which case you can just change whenever you feel like it.
Look at this. Cowards must have locked the place down after Skjor charged in. You can taste the fear.
Where's the switch? Ah. Kind of. Like the book says, like there's kind of a general look they follow, but I don't think it's that strict about it. Yeah, like I said, it kind of does, but it's not very strict about it.
Isn't there? Thought so. Nobody we know by the smell. Some can't separate the animal from themselves. Go feral. This poor sod could have been anyone. We should keep moving.
So you mean like, yeah,
No surprise.
like if you're playing a Fianna, you might be more likely to be a wolf with red fur, but you don't have to play as a wolf with red fur. Or you don't have to play a silver fang with silver fur. It's just, it's kind of more of a guideline. But yeah, I mean, like being able to customize your wolf form, that I'd be down with.
Nothing we can do for these ones. Huh? What was that?
So yeah, I think we can. Still though, I think we gotta also talk about like what the main plot line would be about. Like, I mean, it's probably gonna be something super basic, like, ooh, Pentech subsidiary is, like, I don't know, cutting down forests in upstate New York, and you've got to build a shopping mall or something. Well, and you've got to engage in a little eco-terrorism to make sure that it doesn't happen, because it's being built over, it's being built over like a, it's being built over an old werewolf cairn. And I'm just making this up off the top of my head. Guys, help me out, please.
That your best?
That I like. That's a good idea. Oh, something that's also got to be a big deal. You got to be able to travel into the Umbra.
Be careful. Their leader is a tricky one. They call him.
What was that one?
I don't think I need to tell you.
What was that one game? What was that one game? Prey! That's what I'm thinking of. You guys played Prey, right? Because there was like a part, and I'm not talking like the new one that came up by Arcane Studios. It was a totally different game. Came like a... Whoops. Yeah, you should have quests in the Umbra realm. In the Umbra, that just goes without saying. I mean, but how you get in there, that's a different. That's a different. Holy shit! What the hell was that? But yeah, getting into the Umbra. Because there was this one game back in the day called Prey. It sort of had this spirit world aspect to it. That kind of kept you... It sort of made... Oh, that's actually a good idea. Yeah, the Spectral Realm and Legacy of Kain. That's actually better.
Bastards. Somehow they managed to kill Skior. He was one of the strongest we had. But numbers can overwhelm. He should not have come without a shield brother. Get out of here. I'm going to make sure we got the last of them, and see if there's any information to be gotten from the bodies. You and I have work to do. The Silver Hand will tremble at our sight. The Silver Hand has been scouring the world for more pieces of
Yeah.
Uthrak.
And I guess another... The only question is, like,
Get it back.
can you would have to be able to do this in, like, only certain areas.
I'm gonna find whoever did this.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That's hilarious. It probably won't. Cyanide is pretty good about being business, about keeping their politics out of their business. So it probably wouldn't happen. But that's just, that was funny. That was funny, King. That was funny. What was it? Yeah, I had something. I had something. Yes, now I remember. Getting to the Umbra would. I don't think it's something you should be able to, like, shift in and out of at will. Like, there should be, like, specific spots you can shift into the Umbra. Something like, Legacy, a bit like Legacy of Kain. No. No, because they did not think that far ahead. If he is mentioned in any of the books, I will be genuinely surprised by it. But I don't see it. But I don't believe so. But yeah, shift into the Umbra. Something like Legacy of Kain, or maybe even like, fuck, I can't believe I'm gonna have to bring this up, but it is a good idea. Ninja Theory's version of Devil May Cry. Which I assume you guys at least have some passing familiarity with. Because one thing that was a little cool about Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry was the ability to shift into limbo. But like you could only do this at certain spots, and it would just change the landscape up and everything. Actually, if I remember correctly, you basically did all the missions in the Umbra. I mean, in Limbo. How Limbo's level design, that's actually a good thing to use for the Umbra in Werewolf. Well, just because of how it twists everything up, and then you have to figure out how to get around the same level in a completely different way. Although I think they sort of took the cheap route and did everything. They basically did the whole game in Limbo. Like, how much time did you ever spend fighting in the real world? I think you hardly spent any of it. Like, basically everything was done in Limbo. So, I mean, like, there should be Umbra-specific quest lines, but you shouldn't be forced to spend most of your time in it. Like, you gotta interact with the material world in this. That goes without saying. Yeah, think about the closest you came to even playing a level in the real world was that one time you went into that soda factory. And even then it was just to get to a specific spot so you could jump into limbo. But actually, now that I think about it, that actually does present an interesting idea. Because if you're entering the Umbra, you can basically enter into the same level, but it's completely different, and now you have to figure out a new way of getting around it. So, there was actually a good idea there. And it's... Now the only question is, how will we go about approaching combat? Do we go turn-based or real-time? Yeah, it does have that going for it. Yeah, it does. It did have that going for it, but yeah. Although compared to the older games, it's just not that good. But it does have a few cool ideas worth playing with. But still, we gotta discuss combat. I don't think they'd go turn-based. I mean, if it's... whether it's like consoles or PC. If you don't like turn-based King, then you're gonna hate the Shadowrun games. They are turn-based. Me, I don't hate turn-based. If there's plenty of strategy to accommodate it. But the problem is that, well, that's not right. Problem is that the kind of market that Werewolf is going to be entering into. I mean, like games like Shadowrun and Run, they're like made for a more niche audience, and they were all crowdfunded. They're good games, but they're not something the average gamers are gonna. I could see getting into. But Werewolf is likely... Yeah, Werewolf is probably going to go real time just because that's sort of what... Cyanide has a bigger reach than Harebrained Schemes does. So... It would and while turn-based makes sense when you're doing... when you're just playing a tabletop session... Let's be honest, a real-time combat is going to be a lot more fun to play in a video game. But, at least in this case, it would be. Being that Werewolf actually is one of the games that can get more combat heavy. Maybe something like Shadow of Mordor? Something like Shadow of Mordor, but with more RPG in it. And that's the thing, like, the combat should be functional. And hopefully not as plagiarized as Shadow of Mordor. Yeah, the combat should be functional, but Werewolf, it needs to be an RPG first and foremost. That's something it cannot lose sight of. Like, it can have more action elements in it, sure, but the RPG elements need to come first. And while I don't think any of us dislike Skyrim, I think if we're all being honest, its combat is not that good. So yeah, something like, if it's gonna have its combat system, I could probably see working something more like Shadow of Mordor. Whoa. Tripped a trap. Yeah. Something like Shadow of Mordor, but it has to be more RPG heavy. Like, that's non-negotiable. Werewolf is an RPG, so it needs to act like one. I haven't played Witcher 3, although I could imagine that working. I'd probably go more like something more like Witcher 2. Because that I did actually play a little bit of. But I don't know, I think the thing with... I don't know about Witcher 3 just because there's a lot of dodge mechanics in it, and that just doesn't seem... I mean, if you're in Hamid form, okay, sure, that might make a little more sense, but if you're going like Krenos, it's not very werewolfy to dodge. I think I only played like a demo of Kingdoms of Amalur. Great, another dragon. Looks like I gotta fight him. Let's have a little fun. Oh shit. The technocracy is... The thing with the technocracy is they could probably take down the worm, but they would make the Weaver the supreme power, which is also bad because the Weaver's just... And yeah, shapeshifting should have an impact on gameplay and combat. Pyro, good point. That is a good point. May you just come down so I can kill you? Yeah, more or less. But yeah, the reason why it's bad for for actually any of the aspects of the Triassic game dominance is the wild's chaos. It's just gonna keep creating shit for the sake of creating shit. Like, don't know if any of you guys ever read this, but there was this one Guardians of the Galaxy storyline in the comics. It was called the Cancerverse. And it was this universe where life just ran out of control. So yeah, if the wild becomes the dominant force in the world, yeah, that would probably would. But yeah, if the wild becomes the dominant force in the world, it's just gonna have mass chaos. It's just going to create things for the sake of creating them. There's not going to be any rhyme or reason to any of it. Now, if the Weaver becomes dominant, there's just too much order. Everything just stagnates. Nothing new is created. There's no innovations. And of course, if the worm becomes dominant, everything just ends. So the whole point is the whole point of beating back the influence of the Weaver and the worm isn't to make the wild more dominant, it's to restore balance.
Has the Empire forsaken us? How could Whiterun fall into the hands of these stinking half-wit Nords?
And that's the problem. Everything's out of balance. Maybe, but I don't know. I'm like, that would be kind of neat.
I've been tending to the warriors at your rest.
Like chase hunting segments in Lupus form. Yeah. I'm like, you should be able to shift into all different.
Have you been
should be able to shift into all the different forms.
Friend? I wish I could be there with you soon enough.
Yeah, glad you are for us. We all are too.
Another piece of glory. Good work, Shield brother. Until next time.
Come to me with questions. I know our history almost
sure.
as well as Vignar by now.
Dude, I'm actually working on a campaign with a couple guys right now, Forrest. If you want to come in, and just hit me up on Twitter. But yeah.
We've received a desperate missive. A citizen of Whiterun has been kidnapped.
But yeah,
The
I don't know.
companions have been
Sleeping
asked
Dogs
for
has good
assistance,
combat,
and we shall answer.
but I would.
Particularly when the
But
pay
weapons sort of need
is
to be
as good as this.
weapons kind of need to be.
Moving. I shudder to think what might happen if you're too
you can
late.
find my Twitter on my channel. There's a button under my banner. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, what was I saying? Yes. The thing with combat in Werewolf is there's got to be some use of weapons, and Sleeping Dogs. You can do whatever. You can play whatever you want, man. But yeah, we'll work out the details on. Just hit me up on Twitter, man, and we'll work out the details. But yeah, what I was getting at was Sleeping Dogs has good combat, but it's unarmed combat. Weapons are a big part of Werewolf. Well, so that's why I'm thinking something more along the lines of Shadow of Mordor,
Been tending your house?
or maybe
Smell like a wet dog.
or maybe to a lesser extent, The Witcher.
Gotta keep my eyes open. Damn dragons could swoop down at any time.
I don't know. I think you could. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to being able to fashion your own clave. Yeah. But yeah, basically, when it comes to combat in Werewolf, I think it's more important that it's functional than good, because the RPG part of it is where it needs to be good. Combat just has to work. That's all I'm asking. Yeah, where is the Serpent's Bluff Redoubt? That's the closest town. Markarth? Yeah, I'm not doing that. Let's see how much gold I got. Maybe I can buy a horse. Or 1,000, maybe.
Got the man like you needs a suppose so.
Good, I've
You've
got
a
plenty.
deal. It's the one with the saddle.
Are you talking about the original Hills Have Eyes or the remake? I think that's a stupid question. You're probably talking about the remake. But yeah. yeah, those are good ideas. The only problem is that does that take away from the focus of the main plot line? Now, I mean, like in KOTOR, that sort of worked because that worked in KOTOR just because you only had two options, light side or dark side. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean, and if you get a high enough worm taint, you could end up enthralled the worm. Yeah, I was thinking like you were talking about like how it could impact the main plot line, like with, because in KOTOR you only had like two options, light side or dark side ending. This is like being tainted in Werewolf. That gives you like 3 different options: Wild, Weaver, or Worm. And my fears is that to make them cool, to make them work, they would But yeah, to make them work, it would kind of require the plot lines to be sort of simplistic, and I'm kind of hoping that it's not a simplistic story. I mean, like at least not something that's not too simplistic. Probably not going to be something as deep and complex as maybe Bloodlines. Yeah, that's actually, yeah, like 4 different endings. Like, you got the Gaia ending, the Worm ending, the Weaver ending, and the Wild ending. Because I do think multiple endings would be a kind of a foregone conclusion with this sort of game. Because one thing that would do it a disservice is them taking away, like, the ability to make any choices in the game. Like, this should not be a game that just puts you on a rail. And that was kind of that's something that I think held Bloodline's story back, was that you didn't really have a lot of choice in the story. It only went in one direction and you had no say in that. There weren't any forks in the road. Now, the trade-off was that the story was really good. But you just didn't feel like you had as much agency as you should have had. Like, I could do a tabletop session of Vampire, and there'd be just so many forks you wouldn't know where the story would go. So yeah. Like, Werewolf should have some forks in the road. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, Werewolf, there should be some forks in the road. Like, I'd be willing to accept it if they like only happened at like plot critical points. And sorry if I tripped over my word there. Like, it's... Yeah, well, Vincent, I'm doing a Skyrim playthrough with the Companions Questline to sort of get an idea of what the upcoming Werewolf video game could look like, as well as just, you know, spitballing ideas of what people would like to see in them. So, basically what we have sort of discussed is that... Oh, yeah, I know about that. I think I've seen the trailer. It looks cool. Yeah, right now we're sort of talking about the plot line, and and maybe the combat system. Things we have managed to discuss up to this point were one thing things we do think need to be there are like there needs to be the ability to, yeah, a lot of oh yeah, that's the thing why I think you got to have like a multi-tribal pack, Pyro, because they can all give you quest line missions that serve their tribe's agenda, and that can either gain you renown or cost you renown with other tribes. There needs to be like some sort of renown meter. Yeah. But yeah, what we've been sort of discussing is things we think do need to be in there are there needs to be like the ability to travel into the Umbra, something that's like a bit of a cross between the spectral realm in Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver and Limbo in Ninja Theory's version of Devil May Cry. We also think like
By order of the Yard, stop right there.
What did I do?
Smart man. Now, come along with us. We'll take any stolen goods, and you'll be free to go. After you pay the fine, of course.
Yeah, I'll get back to you once I get. Yeah, I'll get back to you, Forrest, once I get through with it. Once I get done with the stream. But yeah, something that's like a cross between the spectral realm and Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver and Limbo from Devil May Cry by Ninja Theory.
What do you need?
Also thinks the way you can level up, like missions will give you attribute points, but you go to spirits to learn gifts, as well as get missions that will level up your gifts, as well as learn new crafting recipes for fetishes. Combat system.
Questions. I know our history almost as well as Vignar by now. Unfortunate. Let's be more careful next time.
I kind of settled on like having something like Shadow of Mordor, but light.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that really needs to focus more on being an RPG than having any of the action elements. And you should also have like a multi-tribal pack, so that gives you more variety in missions. And there should also be a party system, like you can like something like out of KOTOR or Dragon Age, and there should be conversations between your pack mates. So something like a bit like in Mass Effect or Mass Effect 3 or Dragon Age Inquisition. Yeah, I could see that. Although in that case, that sort of worked because in Mass Effect 3, I mean, it wasn't a good game, but I would say it sort of justified that because it painted Shepard as being integral to the plot. Like only Shepard could get all the various races to work together, and in Dragon Age Inquisition, because you were the Inquisitor, you basically had the power in order to get all the different factions to lockstep. I don't know, I sort of don't want to go with that. I sort of want to stay away from that chosen line aspect, that sort of chosen line plot line, or I got a better way of putting it. I want to stay away from being the special. Yeah, your character. Yeah, the thing is, I think it wouldn't work if your character is the special. Because something that's sort of integral to a session of Werewolf is that you're not the special, you're an individual who's part of a greater whole. Like, maybe things couldn't be made possible without you, but you're just one member out of a pack. It takes everyone working together. Now, I do agree that maybe your player character should be the pack alpha. But while I'm on that subject, I think something that would actually be interesting to incorporate, if you got low enough renown with any of your packmates, they might try to challenge you for dominance. And putting them back in their place can get you like some kind of level of renown back. Oh shit, requires key. The fuck's the key? So yeah, you want to keep your renown up with your packmates just so you can stay, hey, the alpha. Yeah. Exactly. Now the only question is, how do we go about doing this? Because the main plot line is going... This seems to be the biggest hurdle, because you got... As much as we'd like to have the ability to play all the different tribes, I don't think, realistically, the game could accommodate that. Because every other tribe has their own agenda, they've all got their own thing they want to get done. So your player character's probably going to have to come from a specific tribe. And my gut says the best option would be that your character would be a Silver Fang. Why am I supposed to get the key? I'd like to get in there to find the other shard, but I need the fucking key, man. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, like, ooh, actually, this is a good idea. You could play a Silverfang Cleath who comes from King Albrecht's sept. Like, just think about that. I mean, here's a good. That's a perfect start. Like, Albrecht has a specific mission that he tasks your character with, and you always have to report back to him. But as you keep up, house. Yeah, I meant house, but yes, my mistake. But yeah, Albrecht's. Yeah, but yeah, you're a Silverfang out of. No, I think House Wormfoe. Like, you gotta come from. I think it works best if Albrecht is an NPC in that game, and your character is reporting to him. Like, he tasks you with doing a specific mission. Along the way, you pick up other Galrud to add to your pack. That allows you to get more in touch with the other tribes. And you build up renown with them. Yeah, and especially like the way the renown system would work like the Nemesis system in Shadow of Mordor. Well, to be more specific, Shadow of War. Because in Shadow of War, like if you don't do enough to keep your orc chieftains happy, they will betray you. So yeah, that's actually perfect. Your player character is a Silverfang, or Fang from Albrecht's house, and he has, and like Mary because she's a Therut, Mary Cabra, she's the Black Fury Thurge in Albrecht's pack. Like, she gets this vision. Maybe that's in there. Motherfucker, where is that fucking key? But yeah, Mary gets like this vision of this great calamity that's going to, or something that just needs to be, taken care of, and Albrecht decides to send your character on to accomplish that mission. So there. So oh fuck me. I remember now. Oh goddamn. About the only way I can get into Sarthal is to start the College of Winterhold quest, which oh fuck! The College of Winterhold is the worst quest in the whole fucking game. Okay, but yeah. Gone on for about 2 hours. I think this might be a good place to start off for now, because I don't want to take you guys to the college. That's just gonna derail it. So I'll save the game right here, and we'll just I'll save the game right here, and we'll just spend the next... And we'll just get some... We'll hash out some more ideas. So. Okay, so yeah, Mary Cabra. Yeah. We'll hash out some more ideas and then call it good. So yeah, the idea is that you're a Silverfang Cleoth from King Albrecht's house. Mary Cabra gets like some sort of vision in the Umbra that there's something that needs, like something that's going to go down in, like, say in New York. And your character and Albrecht tests your character with dealing with it. So your character goes to New York, picks up other Galru who are from other tribes to add to your pack. You have spirits that you can learn gifts from and get missions to level up those gifts, as well as learn crafting recipes for fetishes. You should also be mechanically able to enter into the Umbra for they'd be Umbra specific quests. And while the combat should be functional, the RPG elements need to come first. Those are the important ones. Anyone else got anything else they want to add? Well, that sort of goes without saying. There should. But yeah, you know what? I think we have a good spot to leave off on. I'll get through the College of Winterhold quest, and then yeah, thanks, Forrest. But yeah, I'll call it good for here right now. I'll do the College of Winterhold on my own time, and then we'll come back tomorrow and finish the companion quest line. Hope to see you guys there.